also bring in a governance expert, Benji Ndolo, to put into perspective all these endorsements we saw happening yesterday. The president there in a whirlwind of political activity in Nairobi City. Benji, many thanks for joining us on Weekend Express.
Good morning, Michelle. Nice to see you.
You
Good
too.
Sunday morning.
You
Yes.
too.
Yes.
So it was a busy day yesterday for President Uhuru Kenyatta.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's an understatement.
Pretty much crisscrossing the entire town.
Yeah.
He went to Kanu. He went to was it Chap Chap?
Yes.
He later went to NAC.
NAC, Kenya.
Yes. What significance do these endorsements have, especially for the affiliate parties?
I think there's a good and bad side to this events of yesterday. The good would be that the outpouring of support from different political formations obviously gives President Uhuru much needed momentum. The bad side about this is obviously these delegates conferences and what have you are trying to meet constitutional deadlines. So the age-old Kenyan habit of procrastination. Certainly timing is important. You don't want to do some of these things too early, but you also don't want to wait until the last minute when then you see NASA and NAC Kenya and Maendeleo Chachap and everybody pretty much having to do what they need to do within only a short span of days. So yesterday the president having to do 3, 4, 5, including his own. Yeah, that's
a lot. But is it the correct strategy, especially being a governance expert, for the smaller parties, the likes of KANU, NAC Kenya, the likes of Chap Chap? Because I remember once a president was in a rally in central Kenya and Martha Karua tagged along, NAC Kenya leader.
Yeah.
And as much as she was endorsing President Uhuru Kenyatta, the crowds were jeering, the crowds were booing her actually, saying you need to dissolve your party and join the Jubilee Party. So in terms of how it's going to turn out in the ballot, we've heard of the 6-piece voting, or parties trying to get voters to vote in that manner. How is that likely to play out?
Well, Michelle, the problem with our country mostly begins with the electorate. The electorate are the ones who are ill-informed to the point of electing, selecting, picking, choosing, as you've seen now, all manner of scandalous scoundrels. And so the thinking about 6-piece, 4-piece, whatever it's called, that is the way to impunity, coating or covering itself in the cloth of a party and not having to be scrutinized. And so what the electorate needs to do is look at credentials. Martha, has a track record, is virtually seen as not very corrupt or not corrupt at all. It would be a disservice to the electorate to have to require that someone like this doesn't qualify only because she's not singing like a parrot for Jubilee. That's a fallacy. And so I think that she's been strong enough to, make the case that she should still run her outfit, that she can work in conjunction with Jubilee as an affiliate party, as a partner. It shouldn't be that if she doesn't convert to Jubilee, then, it kind of discredits her. In fact, Michelle, one other way to look at this issue is, so someone like Anwe Guru got the nomination. So how is Anwe Guru better because she got a Jubilee nomination as a leader, as a potential governor? How is she better than Martha Karua? If anything, to the contrary, this is someone with very serious credibility and integrity issues.
Right. I mean, I remember just yesterday.
So it's a fallacy.
Guru was being interviewed, and she said, Martha has been given the chance long enough. She refused the governorship position before. But even away from that, the other party that endorsed President Uhuru Kenyatta, and let's focus mostly on KANU and Maendeleo Chap Chap and what they have to gain from this endorsement as the parties. What
they have to gain is Maendeleo Chap Chap is a baby, is a party that was born yesterday. It's trying to find its way around. It's trying to grow its eyes, its legs, So Maendeleo Chap Chap is the founder of Maendeleo Chap Chap is a sitting wiper governor. So that tells you everything you need to know.
All right.
Alfred Mutua is a sitting wiper governor.
It's a very interesting twist there. And how is that going to play out? Because now we're seeing the wiper, really an incumbent
in a disciplined
governor.
democracy, the governor and many other of these, for lack of a better word, mannerless politicians would have had to resign their position come with clean hands to the electorate and seek to be endorsed.
And he's not the only one. Let's talk about the fact that
That's
we
what
have
I
a lot
said,
of
many
incumbents
others, yeah.
who are sitting, have defected to parties and still sitting on a ticket sponsored
terrible.
by a different party.
It's against the Political Parties Act. It's against good manners. It's against decency. It's against everything. What happens is, to your question on Mandela Chap Chap, on KANU, etc., they now get a chance for better relevance. You know, KANU was there from a long time ago. It has really had diminished returns. And frankly speaking, if Uhuru gets re-elected, I would expect now that the agreement is that at least somebody from KANU, like Gideon Moi, the senator from Baringo, would get a cabinet position, would definitely get something. Because in a way, as you've had Salat Ndaani say, they have been, supporting for a long time, but they have really nothing much to show for it.
All right, let's focus now on Northeastern politics. And the Marsabit Cultural Festival was awash with color and pomp. And there was politics too. Our reporter Moses Wahisi now reports the leaders of the area's Frontier Alliance Party are also supporting President Kenyatta's re-election bid.
The 2017 edition of the Lake Turkana Marsabit Cultural Festival has been an epic affair, with the different 15 communities of Marsabit County showcasing their cultural diversity. Today, the regional leaders are preaching peace. But for the last 2 weeks, cattle rustling has dominated this region, with Laisamis Member of Parliament Joseph Lekutony challenging North Horn Member of Parliament Chachu Ganya of failing to take responsibilities on the trouble caused by the members of his community.
Ninataka achukue responsibility ya ile mali ya Turkana ilichukuliwa juzi na ile mtu aliuawa. Hiyo mali irudi na irudi yote. Na Mheshimiwa Chachu, take that responsibility as a leader, as I have taken mine.
Wahuni, wakora, vijana apange na sisi kama viongozi, lakini sisi tunakataa kabisa mizozo baina ya jamii. Na tutahakikisha hiyo mali yote imerudi.
Newly formed Frontier Alliance party leaders, including the Marsabit Governor Oktar Yatani, who's the party leader, Laisamis Member of Parliament Joseph Lekutony, who's the deputy party leader, Moyale Member of Parliament, that is Robert Duba, together with Northern Member of Parliament Chachu Ganya, and also Joe Kanguchu, have all pledged their support for the re-electional bid for President Uhuru Kenyatta.
Multi-party imefika kila mahali na imefika Marsabit pia. Zamani zingine tunaenda kwa chama zingine, tunaambiwa hapana, wewe unatoka jamii ndogo, huwezi kuwa chairman, huwezi kuwa party leader, huwezi kuwa hii ama huwezi kuwa hili. Lakini sasa tumetengeneza chama chetu, chama ambayo imezaliwa hapa Marsabit, lakini imeenea nchi mzima kwa muda sasa mwezi 2.
Mara huu tunawaomba kura kwa chama yetu. Atuambie ODM, atuambie mtu yote. Of course kule June nimewaambia tuna support president wetu wa Jubilee Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, lakini hapo chini tunaomba kura kwa chama yetu ya Frontier Alliance Party.
Tunaweza kusherehekea pamoja, tunaweza kudansa pamoja, lakini kama hakuna real value for peace, then there is no need to pretend.
After the formation of the Frontier Alliance Party, which comprises of some of the key former Orange Democratic Movement members, the political temperatures are getting high each day here in Marsabit County. But of one key importance is that all these leaders are pledging and pleading the members of this community to have peace. Moses Wahisi, KTN News, Marsabit County.
Meanwhile, in Bomet County, Governor Isaac Ruto was breathing fire against Deputy President William Ruto in the first political rally the Chama cha Mashinani leader held after joining NASA. Ruto's comments left no doubt whatsoever that the supremacy battle for the Rift Valley is alive and well.
It was the first political rally that Bomet Governor Isaac Ruto was holding in his backyard exactly a week after he was formally received by the NASA principals as he officially joined the opposition. It was also an opportunity to hand over certificates to those aspiring to contest for various elective seats under CCM party. However, the rally was turned into a crusade against the Jubilee regime and to be precise, the deputy president.
Wewe ukija na hiyo fitina yako tutakwambia funga virago naenda kwako. Wewe ulijaribu na mada. Wewe hukufaulu. Hebu thubutu tena kuja Bomet na kutuambia hiyo. Wana wakitoka Nairobi kila siku wanakuja kuchokoza Isaac Ruto. Hati wanasema wameleta lami. Bwana gavana, iko lami umeona? Iko lami umeona? Wacha nikwambie, wakipea huyu ambaye wanataka kumpea, utawaona tena.
The politicians gave their arguments against the Jubilee's second term.
Unga. Kanuni ya pili saa hii. Halafu sasa sukari ni shilingi 200. Sasa 200 plus 200 is 400 shillings. Wewe hujanunua sabuni, hujachukua. So in Kenya to live, wewe kuishi Kenya hii, anda Jubilee lazima uwe na shilingi 500 kila siku. Wengine walikuwa wananiambia ati Wakalenjin hawezi pigia kura Raila. Sisi tulipigia 207. Ndipo makaza gani tukirudia?
IEBC was also put on the spot for appealing a case in court where they want election results to be announced in Nairobi and not at the polling centers. They threatened to boycott the elections if the court rules in IEBC's favor.
Now we are asking IEBC to respect the will of the people. And uchaguzi itatangazwa kwa polling center na constituencies. Ndio. Hakuna kura itapelekwa hapa mpaka Nairobi atitangazwe. Na wasidhubutu kwa sababu nimeambia Isaac Ruto sisi kama chama cha mashinani tutatoa parallel IEBC.
Chama cha Mashinani Party will be fielding candidates in all elective positions countrywide except that of the presidency. With 3 months to the August 8th elections, one of the main challenges that Isaac Ruto will be facing is popularize the NASA presidential candidate Raila Odinga in an area perceived to be a Jubilee stronghold, even as he prepares to face one of his main challenges for the Bomet gubernatorial seat, Dr. Joyce Laboso. Chris Dairo, KTN News in Bomet County.
So those are the Rift Valley politics intrigues there. And let's speak about this because, of course, Governor Isaac Ruto, they're still breathing fire. Like we had Kanu yesterday endorsing President Uhuru Kenyatta's re-election bid. Talk to us about Rift Valley politics and the intrigues that are going to happen there in the August 8th general election.
Moto sana. Very, very hot. Michelle, it's reached a point of no return. Certainly, the rift between William and Isaac is now irreconcilable.
Ruto versus Ruto.
The Ruto versus Ruto is kind of like the Ruto versus Raila 2009. It got to an irreconcilable differences point. Now, what does this mean for Rift Valley politics? The Supremo, Michelle, continues to be the DP. The conflict, the assault on Governor Ruto, in my estimation, is just going to increase in ferociousness in the next few months, because what William will be trying to do is to consolidate decisively, in fact, even against Senator Gideon Moi, to make a strong statement that he hasn't lost ground, and that his bloc, so to speak, is intact in Jubilee, and that for him, 2017 is really a given, and I was in a meeting yesterday where this was discussed, and that a lot of even what you've seen in the nominations, a lot of what you've seen in the central part of the country has to do with his planning and strategizing and positioning for 2022. So again, he'll be trying to come out very, very strongly and stamp his authority, not just as the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, but really as the person to watch, because the president now is in his latter, leg.
Final stages.
Whether he wins or not, it's really the younger Ruto now that is looking at consolidating and strategizing and so this is only going to mean that the war gets gets much
Right,
worse.
so even before we get to 2022, because August 8th is still something very crucial for Rift Valley, what is that going to, what impact is that going to have in terms of the numbers that Jubilee thinks they're going to have, in terms of the numbers that NASA thinks Isaac Ruto is going to bring to them?
That's a very good question. You know, I was actually going to go into that next point. The problem for the DP is that, truth be told, Michelle, there are issues. You know, over the term since 2013, there are fundamental issues which you heard the member of parliament who was accompanying the governor talk about, people who are coming from Nairobi and talking about Lami. And do you see any Lami? There's a gap there has been with the Jubilee communication between what the leadership says and what is actually on the ground. Some of us have talked and warned them about this for many, many years since they initially came into power, so that there's parts of the Rift, specifically, Michelle, the South Rift, that feel that we're in government, but what are we really getting? What do we have to show for it? As you've had the governor allude to there, sugar is at 200-300 shillings, there's shortages, etc. And even when you finally hear that maybe sugar is being imported, you start hearing such things as relatives of the DP, maybe his own son, etc. All of this plays very badly politically on the ground because people feel that the ethnic supremo is using them for his own personal gain. So that's I'm giving you now real politic. And so what you can expect is, in my estimation, that in the Rift Valley, August 8th, you might have at least somewhere between 20-30% at least of the vote going to NASA.
All right. We'll be discussing this in a bit more detail. Governance